An alternative to do loops is the use of for next loops. When you want to repeat the statements in a loop for a specific number of times, then the for next loop is ideal. The for next loop uses the for and next statements and a counter variable called the loop index. This loop index is tested to determine the number of times a statement inside the loop will execute. Here is the basic form of the for next loop. When the for statement is reached during program execution, several things will occur. The loop index is established as the loop counter and is initialized to 0. In this case, the loop index is number integer. The final value for the loop index is to set the value of number integer, which was assigned the value in the previous statement. Execution is now controlled by the for statement. After the value of the loop index is set, it is tested to see whether the loop index is greater than the maximum integer. In this case, the maximum number is 10. The next statement causes the loop index to be incremented by 1. That is, the next statement will automatically perform an add 1 operation. When the test is made and the loop index is greater than the final value, then the control passes to the statement immediately following the next statement. The three-step process is to initialize the counter, in this case number integer equal to 1, increment the counter, which happens in the next statement, and then test the counter against the highest value, which in this case is 10. The loop index must be a numeric variable, and there is an optional keyword step that can be added to the for statement. In this example, I've added step 2. This will now cause the value of number integer to increment by 2 every time the next statement is encountered, as opposed to the default of 1. So in our current example, the value of number integer will increase by 2, starting at 1, and then increase to 3, then to 5, then to 7, and then to 9. At that point, the loop will stop because the value of the next value would be 11, which is greater than the value of 10. There also may be an occasion where you want to count backwards. In that case, you could use a negative step. However, be careful if you use a negative step, you need to make sure that your beginning value is greater than your ending value. For example, I would need to reverse the initial value to be 10 and my ending value to be 1, or some number going in a negative direction to use the negative step. Keep in mind that the variable, in this case number integer, must be a numeric variable and needs to be a whole number as well. The limitation of the for next loop is that you are tied to a number, as opposed to the do loops where you could express a condition, such as a keyword or a phrase. With the for next loop, you must be dealing with a numeric value as opposed to an expression or string data type.